Hey everyone, and welcome to the Merry Makers Christmas Craft Collab. For 4 weeks in November, we're going to bring you projects using things from our stash. So I had this Christmas patchwork paper set. I had several full sheets of paper, and I made this mini album and used up a lot of it. I love this paper, but I've had it in my stash for quite a while, and I wanted to be able to use it. I also used this fun textured paper for the cover and made this fun different closure. So you can see it's a collage kind of paper, and I'm really going to lean into that collage-y feel to it. So I had a couple of used up 12 by 12 sheets, not full 12 by 12, but a good chunk of it. So I had enough to make something. I did have some of the 6 by 6 left over. I think that's the biggest piece I have. There were cut-aparts on the back of that main page and all these little cut-aparts. And so I'm going to spend some time cutting them apart and trying to use it. Now, I did have one 12 by 12 sheet that had these fabulous tags on it. And you're thinking, okay, so what are you going to do with collab making tags? If you already have tags, well, yeah. But like I said, it's a collage-y kind of paper. And I thought I could further embellish these tags. Now, even if you have tags that are not collage, you still can further embellish the tags and make something out of them. So that is what I'm going to do. So let's get started. First thing I'm going to do is grab some chipboard. These actually were scraps of chipboard from an album I made. And this is like one mess after another. So I cut a 1" by 8.5" inch piece and put it in the wrong spot, so I had to get some undo and move it to the right spot. Now this is all eyeballing it. You saw I sort of measured it, then my tape ran out, or my double-sided adhesive, but I finally found some more. And I'm going to put it on both sides of the chipboard spine and around the exterior, because there is not very much room on this paper to put my 5 by 8.5 pieces of chipboard. I mean, look, it's less than ½ inch, but I'm going to make it work. And it's all, I mean, I don't want to throw out this paper. I want to use it up and make something. So even if you have just a little bit of a paper collection, you can still use it. And I loved the paper. I mean, isn't it fabulous? So I cut it down so I could put it on the inside covers. I'm not giving you measurements because I really just eyeballed it. I used mostly double-sided adhesive here, but I did use some wet adhesive for where it didn't cover. I'm going in through that crevice next to the spine right now. And I liked this paper too, and it's going to go right to that gusset next to the spine. So I had to cut it down a little bit. And I really liked having that where it says 25 Santa Claus home, but you see it doesn't exactly fit, and I have to do some emergency surgery on it. So I'm just burnishing it into that crevice, adding some glue. So I'll cut it and then cut around those words, push it down, and then add a little bit of glue just to make sure it sticks, because I really liked it. Oh, I'm actually going to use a ruler next. All right, so I'm taking my ruler, finding the middle point, which is here, 2.5. I'll make a little tip mark and make a hole. So I'm going to put eyelets in here. Whoops, a larger size. And then through the eyelet, I'm going to put a ring. So I'm down, just about ½ inch. Do I want it to look nice from the outside? Yes. So I'm toying with the idea of also putting an eyelet on the spine so I can hang a dangle or something. I'm thinking I really don't know what dangle I have. Whoops, I moved the camera. But you know what? I'm going to add it and I'll make something up. All right, I'm not going to subject you to the boring stuff of me actually setting the eyelets, but I did put one in the spine, and I'm going to set the eyelets, and then I'm going to work on the cover. So I'm going to take one of the tags and some scraps of paper and just decorate the cover. Again, collaging, just ripping up paper and throwing it in. Honestly, it's not something I'm real comfortable with, but like anything else, the more you do, the better you get at it. So I just play around with the scraps of paper I decided will go on the cover. I liked having that window, but it's sort of a focal point. Do I want the Santa to be the focal point of the window? So I mess around with it for a while. Since I didn't have any paper left, I had to dig into my stash. So, I mean, that's one piece on the right-hand side to go with the tags, and I have one other piece. So anyhow, in my stash, I have some embossed pieces, and I'm going to try to use some of those. My idea is the tags will get consecutively larger. So the first one will be just the size of the tag, and then a little bigger, little bigger, little bigger. So I'm going through those embossed pieces, trying to decide if I'll use those. And I went through my other paper stash and grabbed a couple things. And here's something I had in my mixed media area. You know, sometimes you just get inks and start playing with it. Well, that's what I have. I don't know if I'll use it. Well, I end up using one of the pieces. I liked having those red dots. It sort of reminds me of snow. Okay, it's red, not white, but you know, you get the idea. So I'm going to add some of my scraps to that, what will be a tag, just so it all blends in. And I need to cut that one down, but just adding these and seeing what I can end up with. I have this little ruler piece that came from the collection. I'll add that. And then I have these houses. They're honestly two different sizes. One's from a 12 by 12 and one's from one of the tags, but you know, they're bright and colorful, and once I put them all down, you don't notice. So if you have focal points from your paper collection, you can use that. And look at the red dots in the background, how that came out. So I'll just glue these things on. I'm going to glue something at the top and then cut it down to make it sort of a tag shape. So this is just a strip of paper with the border, the branding strip on it. Just going to glue that towards the top. Yeah, not exactly at the top, towards the top, because the top you're not going to see, because that's where we're going to have the hole to go through the ring. So I'll put that on, burnish it real well, and then just cut it. I'm not using a template. I'm not using a die. I'm just winging it. So there we go with the first tag. I'll ink around the edges just to darken it. I think a little bit later I go in to add a little more color, but that's it for the first tag. Okay, so I am getting into this mixed media kind of thing. I'm going to cut this tag apart. I'm taking out the window. I really like the window, and I really like the window tag, and I could have just added some elements to it, but I still needed a larger tag. Now that buffalo check thing on my paper was stuck to it. I'm going to need to take it off. Maybe I'll use it later, I don't know. So I'm fussy cutting around this Christmas tree. I could have just made it a triangle, but I'm just fussy cutting around it. It doesn't take very long, and honestly, I don't do a great job, but you know, inking solves a myriad of problems. And later I find a star in my stash that is that exact size, and I put it over it. I don't know if I show you. I don't even know if I did it before I did the walkthrough. I think I may have found it after the walkthrough. But anyhow, I fussy cut this, which is wonderful because now it gives me some more scraps to play with. And I add that to this embossed piece of paper. All right, so I'm going to sort of get into a little mixed media play, some ink play. I don't have very many stencils, but I have a couple. So I chose this one with the red dots and added in, just because there's a lot of red in this collection. So I do use some red, and then I just try to tone it down a little and add some red in different parts of this embossed whatever it is. Spritz a little bit of water to blend it in. I mean, I'm not big on mixed media. I'm not good at it because I don't do it a lot, but I have fun. It's, you know, it's like when you're a kid, just using crayons. I do have some washi tape that was just, actually it was a very dark blue and white. I'm gluing it down because I don't trust washi tape. So I'll put that on, I'll pull that around, and look, that makes a nice base to put the Christmas tree. So now it's inside the house. Add a little bit of red just to give it more of a background. I'm taking a little marker and just going over the washi tape, and then I'm cutting this down into a tag. I decide to use my coffee-induced squiggle line technique and go around the outside of the tag just to make it look good, do some stripies on the bottom, and then add the Christmas tree. This needs words on it. I hope I go back and add words. Oh, look, it is for you. Just for you I add words. So I'll put that on there, just something. So there is another tag. All right, tag number 3 is going to be easy. So I have this scrap of paper. I was going to grab my ruler. I guess I could use my board. So it's 5.5 by 5 3/4. So this page is 5 inches wide. I'm trying to make my tags 4.5 inches or smaller. So, and then also I've got the head cut off of the cat. So what I'm going to do is just simply fold this. You can see I'm not being really fancy. You can't tell that's a cat tail. And I will burnish that. I'll glue it here and glue it here so no one can tell that was supposed to be a cat. And then I can use this as a tuck spot for a couple of tags. And then I'll still put the hole up here and just add it in. I'll decorate this, and then that one's good to go. So I'm going to take this. This is from that Christmas tree one. I'm just going to cut that on a diagonal. Got a little bit of ink there. And I'm going to put that over here. And I'll add the believe here. Sort of peeking out over on this side. And I inked under there just so this would show, just because there was so much pattern going on. And we'll put Santa over there. So then these two will go in there. And there is my next one. I have another one of these embossed experiments. I don't know what you call them. I'm just going to ink it a little. Maybe I'll add some blue as well. Ooh, that blue comes on strong, huh? This is going to be the back side, so I don't know why I'm worried that much about it. Let me show you the front side. So I'm going to, I want this 25 to be my pocket, and I might as well have the window piece. So I'm going to just make sort of a collage. I'm gonna go in fast motion through this, so it's just a matter of cutting up strips of paper and gluing them down and adding them to the page. I'm just experimenting, seeing what I like. As you see, I do a lot of ripping. Again, it's not what I usually do, but it was sort of fun. All right, I'm going to make a long, thin tag using another Santa tag, but I'm going to put it on just a piece of red cardstock. Again, ripping, cutting, gluing, just putting it all together. I'm cutting the top to make it look like a tag, and then cutting off here. And there we go. There is the Santa tag. All right, this is for the scraps that I have. I'm going to use it all. I am going to use all these scraps. I'm going to add this over to this side of the scrap paper. Going to add some glue to here. And this will go over on this side. I'm going to end up cutting it down, I know. Aha. This will go here. That'll go there. And the angel will cover up everything else. I do believe I'm going to add this to the side. And then we'll just cut this down. You know what I haven't added that I probably won't, but you can, is some ribbon. Like maybe some pom-pom trim. Actually, maybe I will. But anyhow, there is the next one. Oh, I need to cut it at the tops for it to look like a tag. I may. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so here's my last tag. I'm not going to add anything to make it bigger, but I do have these cut aparts. They're very small. So I know I was talking about maybe adding some pom-pom trim, but instead of doing that, I'm just going to add these guys to the bottom. So I'll add a little bit of glue here. And one extra I'm just going to add up here. So that's it for the last tag. So I've got all of these, so there's that one. Then I'm going to put the Santa here, and then the tree, and then the other Santa. I didn't want them going next to each other. Then this one, then that one, and then that one. And I've got these other cut aparts. I'm going to figure out different places to put them, put a hole in this, and then put it all together. And it's all done. Yay. I did add something to the side, so it was a fail. I had cut out, there were some tags, and I had laminated it. Well, it got stuck in the laminating machine, so that was a fail. But I did have those little ornaments on a string that I thought would be fun, sort of whimsical to go with this. I'm going to try to change out the ribbon, but that's all I had for right this second. So I just added it to a little clip that went in through the eyelet that I had on the side. So here's the front. You can see the Santa. I did add a cat to it. Like I said, I had all those cut aparts. I added a couple of cats to the back. I had a Christmas tree I added. And then here we are with the tags. So I just used a 1 1/4 inch ring binder. So there's the smallest one. The next one, here's the one in the pocket. Here is the one with a side loading pocket and 2 tags. Here's the one with the Christmas tree. Added the cat there. There's the Santa tag. So we have the Santa here and the Santa here, but you know, if I didn't tell you, you wouldn't notice it. And then here are the houses, and I really love that because that's on the bottom. I like how this iridescence of the feathers, or maybe they're pine needles. And I added the last scrap of paper I had to the bottom made a pocket, and there I put the last tag. So that is a way that if you have paper that has some beautiful tags, you could make something with it. I know I have some other tutorials on my channel on tag books, but this was using up the last of that Christmas patchwork stash that I had. I mean, I used up everything. The scraps I had left were tiny. So anyhow, there are other collaborators who are doing the same thing, making either tags, ADCs, embellishments, or ornaments this week. Check them out on the playlist or look in the description box and check them all out and show them some love. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a fabulous day.